Not only is our leading industry going to slow down, but also it bleeds into manufacturing, it bleeds into construction, in every aspect of our economy.
Now at 7 o'clock, the White House reversing its decision to not target immigrant workers in the agriculture and hospitality sectors. We're going to hear from local wine growers about what this could mean going forward.
Plus, the latest on the manhunt for Travis Decker as a search for the Washington man accused of killing his 3 young daughters enters week 3. And
yeah, I don't think the neighborhoods should be subject to an irresponsible campaign promise.
We are hearing from neighbors in the Pearl District who are concerned about plans to build a new homeless shelter in that neighborhood after they say they weren't consulted about it at all. Sunrise, streaming live here at 7 o'clock, starts right now.
good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 7. I'm China Green.
And we are not done with the 7 o'clock hour. We have another hour after this coming your way. It's brand new starting today. That's right. We now have 2 hours of the Sunrise Show streaming live every morning, starting at 7 o'clock, running through 9 o'clock. Again, it starts today, and it's only happening right here on KGW Plus. I know you're watching us on Plus, so thanks for being here. Keep it right here. More Sunrise, more China Green, more Rodney Hill. Speaking of which, there he is.
Yes.
Whoop, there he is. Whoop, there he is.
Okay.
Whoop, there he is.
I don't know how to respond to this.
Just tell me what it's going to be like outside today, buddy.
Oh.
All right, here's our Doppler radar. Yes, we have the push of low clouds that we told you to expect. Yes, we are picking up some scattered showers. Astoria and then maybe up toward parts of Calais County, there might just be some Age-Bowl rain. But for the most part, this has just been quick-hitting traces of rain. I don't think so much drizzle or mist as it has been either sprinkles or some light showers. I mean, overall, there's not much out there. But if you're going to be spending some extended time out between now and 10 or 11 o'clock this morning, that shower threat will continue in today's weather. We're at 58 right now. PDX is actually reporting some raindrops. So at noon, still cloudy, 62, and then eventually today, you know how this goes, gradual partial clearing expected, and if we get enough sun, we'll warm up to about 71. Back to you.
Thank you, Rod. Your time now is 7:02. Taking a look at those drive times. Highway 26 East from Brookwood Parkway to I-405. Going to take you about 18 minutes there. I-84 West from Troutdale to I-5. That will take you about 21 minutes. And then you're looking good. I-5 North from Wilsonville to the Markham Bridge, 18 minutes.
We start our news headlines this hour in California because 2,000 more National Guard troops have been sent to L.A. in response to ongoing protests against ICE. L.A.'s mayor lifted the city's curfew, saying that it did help curb vandalism and looting. Meanwhile, the president's control of the National Guard is being debated right now in court. A federal appeals court heard arguments yesterday, although it did not come to a final decision. We know a lower court initially ordered control be returned to California Governor Gavin Newsom, but that ruling was quickly put on pause.
Portland police arrested 2 people late last night at the South Waterfront ICE facility. Police say shortly after 10 o'clock last night, a demonstrator vandalized the facility. An hour later, police arrested a second demonstrator who they say threw a rock at a federal officer. The 2 suspects face charges including criminal mischief and attempted assault of a peace officer. Yesterday on Sunrise, we told you about state leaders in Washington who were outraged that health data from the state's Medicaid program Apple Health was given to federal immigration authorities without their knowledge.
So we've since learned that this situation could also be coming to Oregon. According to the Lund report, the Trump administration has given the state until July 30th to hand over personal information from the Medicaid-funded Oregon Health Plan. The Oregon Health Authority did not respond to a question from the Lund report about whether it intends to comply with this or not. The Health Authority simply said it will continue to evaluate the request. The Associated Press, meanwhile, reported earlier that top Medicaid officials fought to block the transfer of personal information to immigration officials, citing both legal and ethical concerns. But 2 top advisors to U.S. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. ordered that type of information be handed over. The Trump administration is aiming to make sure that undocumented immigrants are not getting any Medicaid benefits. The administration saying that those benefits are only meant for, quote, law-abiding Americans. 7 states, we're going to show you right here, 7 states, including Oregon and Washington, currently allow non-citizens to enroll in their state's Medicaid program with full benefits.
In the meantime, the White House says ICE can once again detain workers in the agriculture and hospitality sectors. That move has garnered a big reaction from the Oregon Wine Growers Association, which called migrant workers the backbone of the industry. This comes after ICE arrested a vineyard business owner from Newburgh last week. He's currently being held in an immigration facility in Tacoma. And now the Yamhill County Commissioner says he's concerned both for workers and Oregon's $8 billion wine industry.
Not only is our leading industry going to slow down, but also it bleeds into manufacturing, it bleeds into construction, in every aspect of our economy.
Meanwhile, the Oregon Restaurant and Lodging Association told us it's providing resources to help its members navigate immigration-related matters. It is now week 3 of the search for Travis Decker, the man accused of killing his 3 young daughters about 17 miles west of Leavenworth. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office released these images showing what Decker may look like now.
Bridget Chavez, with our sister station in Seattle, has the latest on the manhunt.
Multiple agencies remain deployed on the ground and in the air, chasing new leads and tracking evidence. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office says detectives are still processing items from the original crime scene, while U.S. Marshals, local deputies, and the Washington National Guard continue scouring backcountry terrain. Aerial units are ferrying search teams into remote locations and keeping watch from above. Last week, Decker was suspected to be near Ingalls Creek. Experts say from there, he could have crossed over Long Pass or Turnpike Creek, dropping into the Teanaway Fork Trail system that stretches towards Cleella. The area is rugged, steep, and hard to navigate, but it is a plausible escape route.
Once you're in Ingalls Creek, you're going to be way down there with the hot temperatures. It's quite warm in there. And you can either head further out east down the valley towards Blewett Pass or climb up and over another mountain ridge line, commonly Long Pass, and then come out what's called the Teanaway Road, which is kind of accessed via Cleella.
And while this case has stretched into its 3rd week, detectives say this case is far from cold. They say they're working it at both ends, and they believe it's only a matter of time before Decker makes a mistake and is caught.
Again, that was our sister station in Seattle reporting. Meanwhile, closer to home, leaders at the Beaver Creek United Church of Christ in Clackamas County, they had to deal with a mess that someone left behind after throwing a brick through one of its windows.
They also believe the incident could be a hate crime. Daisy Caballero has a story.
Well, our sign here is the way that we get our message across to the people driving by. It's very effective. A lot of people comment on it.
Greg Hetman has been a member of the Beaver Creek United Church of Christ for 73 years. It's a church in rural Clackamas County with a progressive stance that welcomes everyone through their doors, including the LGBTQ+ community.
We have a number of members who are in that category, and they're full members of the church.
Cynthia Andrews is the church moderator and believes they've been the target of vandalism in the past because of their views.
And to have this kind of damage because of our values is really, it feels very personal. It's a personal violation.
And it happened again.
There is the very brick.
Sometime between last Friday night and Saturday morning, someone broke this glass window with a brick, shattering glass everywhere inside the community hall. 2 stained glass windows were also broken that have been there for nearly a century.
A lot of history in these windows and very personal to this church.
Church leaders think it's a hate crime.
I was going to say it's disturbing. The service on Sunday was very subdued as people came in and, learned about the damage. And it's, like I said, it feels personal.
The Clackamas County Sheriff's Office says it took a report of damage on Monday, but stated there's, quote, no indication that this was a bias crime. According to the Oregon Department of Justice, a hate crime, also known as a bias crime, is any hostile expression that may be motivated by any person's perceived protected class, meaning their race, color, religion, and sexual orientation.
But it's about who we are, what our values are as a church, and how we speak out into the community. So I believe that the Sheriff's Office is misguided.
Daisy Caballero, KGW News.
Your time now is 7:09, and starting today through June 29th, spring Chinook fishing is open on Looking Glass Creek near La Grande. According to officials, recent fish counts at Bonneville Dam improved over projections, and it's rare for Chinook to still be coming over this late. So anglers will be allowed to get 2 adult Chinook and 5 jacks daily, Only fin-clipped fish can be kept. Yep. And if you go, use artificial flies and lures only. No baits allowed. And make sure that you have all necessary licenses to fish. Now, Rod Hill, I'm going to tell you something.
Yeah, tell me.
I'm not going to lie to you. I have no idea what any of that meant.
But you read it like you do. When I worked in Grand Rapids, Michigan, which is inland off the big lake, Lake Michigan, we had a bona fide fishing report every single day on the morning show, kind of like what you just read.
Wow.
So, if something happens here and you need a job, by golly, you take this newscast, you show it to those people up in Michigan. They'll hire you like that, China Green. Here's 11/100ths of an inch on our rain total map up in Astoria. The one spot I've mentioned that's seen the most persistent rain. We've actually also had measurable rainfall down into Newport, 4/100ths of an inch. The zeros on the map don't represent the trace that we've actually had. We've had some traces of rain in downtown Portland. We've also had some traces of rain this morning down around Salem. Here's the camera. I just grabbed this from Gearhart by the Sea Resort up in Gearhart, and we're looking south. Seaside would be right in here until Tillamook would show up, but you can't see it because it's all socked in. So that's the coast this morning, and you can definitely see it's wet. Again, this has been the bullseye of the most moisture this morning up along the north coast, with Astoria's airport reporting over 1/10 of an inch. All right, Portland, we've had some passing light showers, just enough to, notice it from time to time. That's about it. Not much in the way of actual wetting going on. 58 is the number out at the airport this morning. The clouds will be here throughout the morning, and we could see the chance of some lingering showers linger for the next at least 2 or 3 hours as well. 58 in Tigard, we're all kind of the same. 60 in Hillsboro. 56 in Salem this morning, and it is 60 up in Canby. Here's Futurecast real quick. This shows the low clouds at 9 o'clock, the green representing that ongoing chance of just kind of a spattering of some light shower activity. This afternoon, I do think we'll gradually start to break out of the low clouds somewhat. So if we get enough sun this afternoon, we'll warm up to about 70 or 71 up and down I-5. And then it's just a beautiful sunny day, including right now in central and eastern areas of our state. Most areas will be near 80 to warming into the 80s. And our 7-day, so 71, becoming dry this afternoon with some partial clearing. Then all dry for Juneteenth, 73 tomorrow on Thursday. And then that 2-day rain soak is still a go for Friday and Saturday. Absolutely enough rain that could mess with your outdoor plans. I mean, Saturday, especially in the morning, it could just flat out be raining potentially. And that is your update.
Thank you, Rod Hill. We do have a traffic update as well, by the way. This is a live look right now at I-84 East at 162nd. Really it tells the story of what's happening all around the area this morning. No delays to report, no accidents, smooth sailing so far. So we'll keep an eye on the roads for you between now and 9 o'clock because Sunrise streams live every day now until 9 a.m. Oh, drive times as well. I'm sorry. Chris McGinnis, where are you, buddy?
What are you, new?
We have drive times to tell you about. Again, these aren't too bad either. The one we are definitely keeping an eye on is the bottom of your screen, Wilsonville to downtown Portland right now. That is a 19-minute drive into the city.
No one said anything to us at all.
Coming up in our next segment, people who live in Portland's Pearl District are frustrated over a new overnight homeless shelter that's coming to their neighborhood. We have more on that, and we also have this. Yeah, we're going to take it to Southern California where a dog came face to face, and I mean face to face with that bear, caught on camera. What happened to the dog? What happened to the bear? Sunrise streaming at 7 continues after this.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
KGW's Evening News. Important stories to help you stay informed and keep your family safe.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Christine Vidawanich.
And I'm David Molko.
Weather impact alerts to help you plan your week.
We need to be extra careful with anything that can throw a spark.
And a team of local journalists connected to our community. David Molko, Christine Vidawanich, and Matt Zaffino. Your Evening News team, tonight on KGW.
Neighbors in Portland's Pearl District are raising concerns over the city's plans for a new overnight homeless shelter.
This new shelter would fill a vacant office building at the edge of the Pearl right next to I-405. People who live in that neighborhood say they weren't consulted about this at all. KGW's Catherine Cook has more.
On the corner of Northwest 15th and Northrop, you'll find the talk of the Pearl District.
And it's not going to be good.
The future home of an overnight homeless shelter.
We worry about, the house values.
The city of Portland leased the building and tells KGW they hope to open the shelter by September. It would be low barrier, meaning adults who stay here can be drunk or high. They just can't bring drugs with them. Maximum capacity, 200 beds.
We'll start at kind of a low operational number and build into capacity.
Rob Lane is with the city's Portland Solutions program. He says the shelter will help Mayor Keith Wilson reach his goal of adding 1,500 new overnight shelter beds by December.
To make sure that they have a safe and place to sleep each night, to get them off the street so that they can get up and do the work that they need to do to move on to their next step of their housing journey.
So they come out every day and where do they go?
Kathy Dunn has lived in the Pearl for 18 years. She says plans for the shelter left her feeling blindsided by the city.
They want the collaboration of the community. No one said anything to us at all.
Yeah, I don't think the neighborhood should be subject to an irresponsible campaign promise.
Todd Zarnitz is president of the Northwest District Association. He believes addiction is the root of Portland's homeless crisis. He doesn't think this shelter will solve that. He's also frustrated by its close proximity to another overnight shelter. Blanchet House just announced plans for a 75-bed shelter for women 2 blocks away.
The neighborhood's perspective is that if you're going to concentrate a problem, have a solution for the problem, and nothing's really being offered here.
I mean, people need to get off the street. That's not a permanent solution.
But for David Mink, it's a start. He lives nearby and supports opening the shelter on Northrop.
As I said, what are you going to do? Say, well, they have to be out there somewhere else. I mean, if there's a building and it's available, to me, it makes sense.
How it might impact businesses here is another concern. The Pearl District, already an oyster shell of what it once was, riddled with empty storefronts.
Everybody's just going to turn off the lights, and we're going to see this destabilize the community, and that's a very real fear.
Catherine Cook.
A tiny but mighty dog named Doodle in Southern California gave face-to-face, or should we say snout-to-snout, the black bear. Surveillance video shows a little Doodle barking at the bear, which obviously didn't do much because it came right in. Officials say the bear took off without hurting anyone, though apparently this isn't the first break-in in the area. Last time, the same bear was caught enjoying some pizza and ice cream, and they know it's the same bear because of the tracker around its neck. My type of bear.
I've got 2 things to say about this story. 2 comments.
Crazy video. Yeah.
Number 1, when we say that it didn't do much, I'll say I think for a moment in time at least, that dog stopped that bear in its tracks. I mean, the bear definitely paused its entrance, right?
But I think the bear's mindset wasn't like, oh no, I think the mindset was like, cute, little.
Maybe. This much I know for sure. Can you imagine like, oh my gosh, here comes a big black bear. What should we do? Get Doodle. Like Doodle of all the names for all the dogs.
Yeah.
Doodle versus the bear.
That didn't do it.
I mean, I'm thinking about it. We have a golden retriever, and the reality is I'd probably be worried about Maximus.
Sure.
I'd probably try to get Maximus out of the way. And then at the last second, I'd think, oh God, now I'm in harm's way.
Yeah, just get the ice cream and pizza out, and then the bear will be on its way.
See, that's,
it's just very hungry.
That's the,
oh,
very
boy.
hungry, get it?
Oh, I get it.
Bear, very.
I wish I didn't get it, but I got it.
It's weather time. By the way, I've circled on the satellite picture our big rainmaker, which is still on track to come in on Friday and Saturday. Here it is. This low, I mean, doesn't look overly impressive on the imagery right now, but it's going to hold together, and all of the models still show this pushing inland Friday and Saturday. I mean, almost all of the lows we've had for the past several months have kind of neared the coast, and then they fizzled. This one's expected to hold together and push inland, and that's why there's so much hope, because we need it. That's why there's hope that we get some good hours of soaking rainfall on Friday and Saturday for kind of a 2-day rain event upcoming. Now, here's right now, we have what we thought we'd have, and that is the push of low cloudiness blanketing much of western Oregon and Washington. So far, most of us have had either no raindrops or just some traceable raindrops. We have had upwards of 1/10 of an inch of rain or so along parts of Tillamook and Clatsop County up along the north coast. There's our capital, of course, down in Salem, 56 degrees. Chehalem tasting room camera has shown raindrops at times, but not right now. 58, you see it's overcast. And here's the Oregon Zoo. If you're going to be out this afternoon, it will likely be dry, and eventually we do look for some sunbreak activity. But for the next couple of hours as you head out, you could still feel a raindrop hitting you. In fact, nearby, some light shower activity reported around the zoo. 58 is the temperature there. It's also 58 out of PDX. It's all clear by the time you get to the Dalles, and then anything east of the Cascades is clear this morning. Just gorgeous. Bend is sunny and 59, and Pendleton sunny and 64. Futurecast real quick, 10 o'clock this morning just shows the low clouds I talked about, the green specks, the chance of some light raindrops, and there's the gradual clearing this afternoon. Will be all dry tomorrow. That big low I started off talking about brings the first wave of rain inland Friday morning, and then it's rain at times into the day Saturday. Some of the modeling really loves Friday overnight and Saturday morning as kind of the bullseye of some of the heavier rain rates coming through. But look at what the modeling is doing. It's upping the ante, showing now growing confidence that parts of the coast will get an inch or more, and growing confidence that the valley will at least get 1/2 of an inch, with maybe the potential to get closer to an inch of rain over the 2-day period. That showed an inch in Salem and Portland. So we'll see. Back to today, the morning clouds, the morning traces of rain, and then partial gradual clearing this afternoon. If we get enough sun popping, we'll get up to about 71 or so for high. This shows 68 degrees in Battleground this afternoon. 7-day forecast numbers. Tomorrow, of course, Juneteenth. If you're going to be outside, 73 should be all dry. May or may not be some early cloudiness, generally a partly cloudy day. And then the rainy weather, 64 on Friday. We may struggle to get to 60 or 61 on Saturday. A lingering shower threat on Sunday, but if you have outdoor plans, it could be dry. And then really nice weather returning on Monday and Tuesday, and that is your update.
Thank you, Rod. All right, your time now is 7:22. Taking a look at some traffic now, or lack thereof. This is a look at I-5 South at Terwilliger. Not seeing many issues or slowdowns on the roads right now. And let's take a look at your times in red. You got Main Street to I-405, 19 minutes there, but all green is go. Patton Parkway to I-84 are going to take you 12 minutes.
Iran says it is ready to strike U.S. bases in the Middle East. That big headline and others from around the country and the world coming up in 2 minutes as the live streaming hour of Sunrise here at 7 o'clock continues in just a moment.
KGW's Evening News. Important stories to help you stay informed and keep your family safe.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Christine Pitawanich.
And I'm David Molko.
Weather impact alerts to help you plan your week.
We need to be extra careful with anything that can throw a spark.
And a team of local journalists connected to our community. David Molko, Christine Pitawanich, and Matt Zaffino. Your Evening News team, tonight on KGW.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Now to your morning rush. Iran says that it's prepared to strike U.S. bases and assets in the Middle East. According to two U.S. officials, there are no indications that anything is imminent, but U.S. bases and assets are at the highest state of alert and readiness. Yesterday, President Trump met with his national security team in the White House Situation Room after sending more military troops to the Middle East, urging, quote, unconditional surrender from Iran. A lawyer for singer R. Kelly says he was hospitalized last week after an overdose in prison. The lawyer also claims it was an assassination attempt. According to court documents, Kelly was taken to a hospital in North Carolina after he was administered a, quote, overdose of his medication. Government attorneys rejected the allegations. Kelly is serving a 30-year sentence for racketeering and sex trafficking. And Amazon CEO Andy Jassy says the tech giant will likely have a smaller corporate workforce as AI takes over more tasks. In a letter to employees, Jassy says AI is already changing how Amazon is doing business and, quote, we will need fewer people doing some of the jobs that are being done today and more people doing other types of jobs. And that's your Morning Rush.
What's your problem?
Help you guys! Coming up in our next half hour, a look at newly released body cam video that shows the moments that led up to a security guard shooting and killing a man in southwest Portland. And we'll also have the latest for you on the wildfire that continues to burn in Central Oregon this morning. It's forced level 3 go now evacuation orders. The Sunrise Show, streaming live here at 7 o'clock, continues after this.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Rod Hill. So far the rain winner, you folks up in Astoria, you picked up 11/100ths of an inch of rain. We have seen traces of rain with absolutely some light scattered showers popping through Portland. And to a lesser extent, we've had a touch of some light rain all the way down around Salem this morning. Again, for most of us, certainly in the inland, here in the Inland Valley, we're looking at traceable amounts of rain, but we could still see some raindrops here and there for the next couple of hours. There's our live camera showing a little illumination this morning from the cloud deck. A little sun peeking through, 56 degrees. There's downtown Portland at 58. PDX at the top of the hour along the Columbia reporting some light showers. This is a day that will still be mainly cloudy at noon, 62. And then after that, gradually look for some partial clearing. If we get enough sun, warm up to 71. Pretty nice day coming up tomorrow on Thursday, Juneteenth. Might be some early clouds, generally a partly cloudy 73-degree day. And then, yes, the big 2-day rain soak. Rain starts Friday, rain at times, through Saturday, a lingering shower chance on Sunday.
Meet the Funketeers. The Dancers, a quartet of seasoned performers from Michigan. These guys have been performing together for the past 45 years after winning their high school talent competition.
Woo! Oh boy.
Last night, Terry Crews used his golden buzzer on them. This just goes to show you, Rod, that you are never too old to follow your dreams.
That's what they do. Nobody tells me that anymore, actually. They stopped saying that about me years ago.
I'm jamming.
He's jamming.
I would rather you not do that. Weather.
Weather. China directing our show. Big story out this morning is the low cloud deck and some raindrops. Here's Chinook Winds Casino Resort camera. Down in Newport, a little bit south, of course, of Lincoln City, 4/100ths of an inch of rain is in the gauge. So today is playing out the way we thought. We have the clouds this morning. Mostly it's been just traces of a few light scattered showers quickly around Portland and even lesser extent down in Salem. But PDX is still reporting some raindrops at this hour, 58 degrees. So again, rain jacket this morning. Maybe you find some raindrops depending on where you are. Still a lot of cloudiness at noon, 62. Then eventually no rain chance today. And we'll look for some partial or gradual clearing this afternoon. Getting up to about 71 degrees. And that is your forecast.
Thank you, Rod. Your time now is 7:31. There is no major issues or slowdowns right now. So here's a look at I-205 southbound at Strawberry. Is that a street?
Strawberry Street?
I'm new.
Well.
So just so you guys know, Chris is gone this week, and for whatever reason, producers are going back and forth between Drew and me. Drew got it. I don't.
You think it was at I-205 South at the Strawberry? Like maybe there was
I just
Strawberry
never
on
heard
the road?
of Strawberry. Is that an exit?
I'm not. Honestly, it's the first I'm hearing of it too. I apologize.
Okay, well, there's a slowdown there if you're familiar. We'll let you know if anything else pops up. And here's a look at your drive times. I can do this. Brookwood Parkway to I-405, 22 minutes. All of it in yellow right now, so a little bit of a slowdown. Troutdale to I-5, 28 minutes, and then Wilsonville to Market Bridge, 22 minutes.
All right, let's get to our top story here at 7:30. Newly released body cam video is giving us a better understanding of what led up to a security guard shooting and killing a man near a Southwest Portland preschool.
This happened last month, and prosecutors are calling his actions a case of self-defense. Now, we do want to warn you, this video is hard to watch, but we will not show you the moment of the shooting itself. Alma McCarty brings us the update.
Get out of here!
What started here in front of the Gone preschool on the morning of May 8th escalated in the next parking lot over.
What's your problem? Help you guys! What's your problem? What's your problem?
This body cam video showing a fight between 32-year-old Manuel Garza and 53-year-old Eric Salisbury, a security guard at the Jewish preschool on Capitol Highway.
What's your problem? What are you doing?
Investigators say Garza held down the security guard, strangling him. Prosecutors writing he maintained a dominant position as he continued his assault. Salisbury warning his attacker he would shoot.
Show me that! Show me! Show me!
30 seconds later, Salisbury pulls his gun from his side, shooting Garza once in the abdomen. The security guard rolled Garza off him and, according to officials, went into this clinic to ask for help and to call 911. More than a month after the deadly shooting, the Multnomah County DA's office declined to prosecute, calling the use of force justified under Oregon law and therefore not criminal. Attorneys for Salisbury said the licensed security guard was forced to defend his life.
That was Alma McCarty reporting. Prosecutors say that Salisbury could not access his pepper spray since it was behind him and he was pinned to the on his back on the ground. They also wrote that he only fired the gun one time.
Meanwhile, police are looking for a suspect in two sexual assaults that happened about 12 hours apart in the same part of Southeast Salem. The suspect is described as a black man about 20 to 30 years old with a thin to medium build and between 5'4" and 5'7". The first attack happened Sunday around 4:30 p.m. near Commercial Street and Barnes Avenue Southeast. The victim got away in that case. The next assault happened early Monday morning, just after 4 o'clock in that very same area. This time, the intended target was a teenager, but thankfully a passerby intervened and the suspect ran off. Police say they searched for him, couldn't find him. Right now, they're asking anyone with information to give Salem police a call. In Portland, police arrested two people they say stole more than $100,000 worth of merchandise from local stores. Officers stopped them last week in a coordinated traffic stop at Northeast 112th and Halsey. Authorities say they recovered dozens of stolen items, including shoes and clothing, with price tags and magnetic security tags still attached. The suspects are charged with theft and organized retail crime.
In Vancouver, the track at Hudson Bay High School will be closed to the public until the week of August 4th for renovations. The track needs to be resurfaced to ensure the track's safety, longevity, and performance.
A bill designed to help fund a Major League Baseball stadium along the South Portland waterfront is heading to the desk of Governor Tina Kotek. The bill calls for Oregon to provide up to $800 million in bonds to help build this ballpark, and that bond money would be repaid through what's described as a jock tax. It's a tax that would go to the salaries of players and staff from both the home and visiting teams. Oregon Democrat Daniel Wynn chimed in on this, saying, quote, "Bills like this unlock economic development opportunities that will stimulate our economy and re-energize small business and tourism." From the other side of the aisle, Republican House Leader Christine Drazen said, quote, "A Major League Baseball stadium would create an opportunity to boost statewide revenue and also hold Portland leaders accountable for improving safety and quality of life."
Turning to wildfire coverage focused on the Alder Springs fire burning in central Oregon. Fire officials say it's threatening hundreds of homes and has now burned nearly 2,500 acres. The fire is burning in Jefferson County, which is northwest of Redmond and the southwest of Madras. Level 3 go now evacuations are in place for some areas east and south of Canyon Steelhead Falls. Right now it's 0% contained and appears to be human caused. Governor Tina Kotek and the state fire marshal's office have called in more resources to help fight the flames. Firefighters say they made good progress, but some spots have been harder to get to.
This area is with the river canyons, makes for hard access. There's definitely areas where the firefighters cannot go in safely, so they're going to have to look a little bit bigger picture and find where they can stop the fire outside of that river canyon.
Tonight, there will be a community meeting to talk more about this fire. It's happening at 7 o'clock in the Terrebonne Community School gym.
All right, in the Gorge, more good news when it comes to the Rowena fire burning west of the Dalles. Most of the level 2 BSET evacuation notices have been downgraded at this point to level 1s, and all previous level 1 orders have been dropped altogether. This fire is more than 50% contained, but we do know it's already destroyed more than 50 homes and burned more than 3,500 acres. Fire crews still dealing with some challenging winds. So the fight is not over yet, but Rod Hill, as we just reported, it is getting better for those local firefighters.
Tell you what, that wasn't the biggest fire, but you mentioned over 50 homes damaged, and we saw the burned out cars there. Really did its toll. The discussions continue to show that fire crews believe this fire is done spreading. That's going to just eventually burn out where it's sitting. So that's certainly good news. It really hasn't grown much at all since Friday or Saturday of last week. Here's a look at our weather picture today. And here on the west side, we have low clouds that are solid downtown Portland from the Wells Fargo building. We have seen a few scattered, mainly traceable raindrops moving through Portland at times this morning. We're still being reported as such out at PDX along the Columbia, 58 degrees. There you can see it's a little wet on the concrete. That's Camas Meadows Golf Course out on the east side, of course. Overcast skies like the rest of us are showing. Again, mainly it's been traceable amounts of rain except for the north coast and down into the Newport area where we've had 5/100ths to over a tenth of an inch of rain along the beaches this morning. All right, 57 in Battleground. It's a pretty quiet morning. It's not a bad morning, just a raindrop here and there. Otherwise, clouds, winds are generally west 5 to 10 out there at this hour. Kaiser, good morning. 58 is your temperature. Here's Futurecast, 9 o'clock this morning, just showing the clouds and gradually those clouds breaking up as we get rolling through the afternoon for at least partial clearing expected. Daisy's our KGW dog of the day. Pretty shot there out in the grass on a sunny day, it looks like. Dog of the day at kgw.com is the email. Easy to remember. Just send us your dog's photo and their name, and your dog will become our dog of the day. Simple as that. All right, this afternoon, what we got? We have all sunshine right now, and it will be that way all day over in central and eastern Oregon, also out into the East Gorge. It shows the Dow staying in the 70s today, but 80 in Bend and Madras, John Day and Burns and Baker City all in the mid-80s. And assuming we get enough sunshine breaking through the clouds at some point this afternoon, Portland gets up to about 70 or 71 for a high. Nice day on Thursday, very comfortable. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, all dry, 73. Might be some early cloudiness beyond partly cloudy conditions. And then the 2 days of rain, and this starts Friday morning. Plan accordingly. It will be raining Friday evening or night. Maybe not steady, but we think raining more than not across much of the Willamette Valley, the coast, and southwest Washington Friday and Saturday with that 2-day soak that we are expecting and that we need. That's your forecast.
All right, Rod, thank you for that. Quick traffic update for you this morning. No major issues or slowdowns to report, although we are seeing a slight bit of slowing there at I-205. This is southbound I-205. We're going to let you know if we see anything else pop up here as we cruise through the next hour and a half here on the Sunrise Show, streaming live on KGW+. Some more local headlines to pass along as well. Police are asking for help to catch a suspect they say broke into the Geeks and Games store in Oregon City. So apparently the suspect was riding a scooter during that break-in. It happened a few weeks ago, back on May 24th. Authorities say he stole more than $1,000 worth of items from the shop on Beaver Creek Road. Police describe him as heavyset. They say he's about 6 feet tall, and they say that he might be trying to sell those items that he stole to other gaming stores.
In the meantime, in Colorado, a high-dollar heist was discovered earlier this month involving the thefts of thousands of Nintendo Switch 2 gaming consoles worth about $500 each. Rachel Krause reports.
If you want to get your hands on a Nintendo Switch 2, you're out of luck. They're sold out in some spots, in others marked way up. Thieves decided they couldn't wait, hitting a semi-truck carrying the consoles.
When deputies arrived, they did determine that 2,810 Nintendo Switch 2 consoles were stolen out of the back of that trailer at some point.
Anders Nelson with the Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office says a truck driver was at the Love's truck stop in Bennett when he noticed his trailer had been broken into. He told deputies he didn't know these hot-ticket items were in his cab. These got multiple pallets full of the Nintendo Switch 2 consoles. No small haul.
Yeah, they retail at $499. The cost to Nintendo is just over $410. So either way you look at it, it's well over $1 million worth of merchandise stolen.
Exactly right.
Steve Beatty is a computer science professor at MSU Denver. He says don't expect those swipe switches to show up on Craigslist or at pawn shops.
Because they're stolen, I would expect them to head to the dark web pretty quickly. Unless they're shipped out of country.
The anonymous spot to buy and sell, feeding a demand.
And it took me about 2 minutes to find switches for sale. Okay, so it's half price.
If you end up with the stolen Switch, Beatty says these devices each have a serial number that police and Nintendo can track. When you log in, you have to register that number. That's how you play games, get updates. Nintendo, he says, can then track your device.
Nintendo does have the capability of what we call bricking the device, and that is to make it non-functional.
Getting around that lockdown isn't simple. Beatty says you'd have to try and jailbreak it, essentially sidestepping those protections through coding, or avoid connecting to the internet altogether. As deputies work to detect who cleared out these consoles, Beatty says if you too are on the hunt for a Switch, stick to the shops you trust.
They are pricey little devices, right? And so if you're not paying, $500-600 for one, you're probably not getting an original. And of course, you certainly want to go through reputable dealers.
All right, still to come here on Sunrise, a new piece of Oregon legislation that deals with insurance coverage for ski resorts. We're going to hear from some local resorts that say if this bill doesn't pass, they could be forced to shut down. That story and this morning's consumer headlines coming up in 2 minutes.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
KGW's 6 o'clock news. Important stories to help you stay informed and keep your family safe.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Christine Pitawanich.
And I'm David Molko.
Weather impact alerts to help you plan your week.
We need to be extra careful with anything that can throw a spark.
And a team of local journalists connected to our community. David Molko, Christine Pitawanich, and Matt Zaffino. Your evening news team. Watch weeknights at 6 on KGW.
Welcome back to Sunrise. Oregon's ski resorts say they could be forced to close over concerns about losing insurance coverage. State lawmakers, meanwhile, are racing to fix this issue. A bill at the state capitol aims to give businesses more legal protection and would make liability waivers, which you typically sign when you buy a lift ticket. They would make those liability waivers, or would make it harder for people to challenge some of the ski resorts in court. Proponents say that's needed to keep insurance companies from pulling out of the state. Opponents argue the bill goes too far, though, making it nearly impossible for people injured because of negligence to hold businesses accountable.
The level of severity that is required for gross negligence gets rid of the vast majority of cases. So if you pass this bill, if the legislature passes this bill, you are extinguishing the legal rights of Oregonians.
We are extremely concerned if that insurer pulls out, as others already have due to Oregon's unique liability waiver environment. We will not be able to operate. That's not an exaggeration.
A spokesperson for Timberline Ski Resort says if this bill doesn't pass, it could hurt jobs and also the economy there on the mountain. Right now, the bill is in committee. The legislative session is set to end in just a few days on June 29th.
Intel is set to lay off 15 to 20% of its factory workers as soon as next month. Right now, it's not clear how many of Intel's roughly 20,000 workers in Oregon could lose their jobs. But just last year, Intel cut some 15,000 workers, including 3,000 in Oregon. So far, Intel has not responded to a request for comment.
All right, let's get to some of this morning's consumer headlines. Americans spent less money in May, with retail sales dropping 0.9%. The Commerce Department reports the decline is in response to concerns over tariffs and geopolitical issues. The most notable declines were seen in building materials and gas stations. However, online sales and furniture stores experienced gains last month. Meanwhile, JetBlue says it will be slashing flights and cutting costs. On Tuesday, the airline announced a round of cost-cutting measures, including fewer routes to several U.S. states and major metropolitan airports like JFK in New York. Baskin-Robbins is giving parents, a pass this summer with a new limited-time offer on ice cream scoops.
Really?
Ice cream, Rod screams. We all scream for
ice cream.
There you go. Rod jumped the gun on that a little bit. Yeah, I'm sorry. The chain is offering scoops for $1.99 to reward members, saying sometimes parents need permission to give up and give in to ice cream for lunch. Yeah. The Parent Pass is what they're calling this. It can be redeemed in store or through the Baskin-Robbins app on weekdays only through June 27th.
You guys regularly visit ice cream places, right? On like every month or every week or whatever.
I mean, it was when the kids are smaller. I mean, the boys are 17 now, but when they were smaller, definitely a treat to go to either the Baskin-Robbins, the Salt and Straw. What's another good one we like? The Cold Stone.
Cold Stone, where they...
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't done that in a while.
My family, I bet you, not every week, but probably every other week. My family loves flipping ice cream.
No,
we'll be out doing anything, and Natasha or Grayson or even Grayson's dad will go, let's go get some ice cream.
I love that. I love that.
My mom is 78 years old, right?
Yeah.
A half gallon of ice cream is still dangerous in that woman's hand.
Dangerous.
We
Big
love her.
shout out, because it's old school. We still have an old, it's been there forever, walk-up Dairy Queen.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And there's still
cool.
something really special about that unique flavor of the DQ soft serve.
Ooh,
Sure.
dipped in chocolate.
As you move to the Weather Center,
Yeah, as I move to the Weather
think
Center.
about that, your
ladies and
favorite
gentlemen.
Dairy Queen order.
Oh, he's definitely a vanilla guy.
I
Just plain vanilla.
know. I'm the most boring. I just get a vanilla cone. Sometimes though, are you ready for this? I'll get the strawberry malt.
Wild man.
With the little teaspoon of malt powder in it.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, here's a look at our rainmaker. I want to start with this. This is the upper level low, the little ball of clouds right here that's going to be holding together and pushing inland into Oregon and Washington, especially Oregon, on Friday and Saturday. So everything is still to go that this system will give us a 2-day really beneficial rain soak. here on the west side at least, but some decent rainfall scattered across other areas of our state as well. So here is the latest rain potential map. This is ending Saturday at 10 o'clock. There is a lingering shower threat on Sunday, but this is mostly a 2-day event starting Friday morning and going through the day Saturday. And models keep upping the ante, showing there's now the chance for an inch of rain up and down the valley. There's a chance for an inch or more at the coast. And again, I'm often kind of pessimistic because the track record is these numbers are too high more than not. But certainly growing confidence that we will get at least a half of an inch of rain in Portland. And I think the confidence is starting to build that we will get more than that. So that's, again, Friday, Saturday, definitely impactful of your plans. It's going to be pretty wet outside for those couple of days. Right now, this is light rain scattered about. We've had over 1/10 of an inch of rainfall in Astoria. Longview, you may be getting some manageable rainfall by now as well. It's just been traceable, scattered, brief showers here in Portland, and even less so down in Salem. Chinook Woods Casino Resort Camera in Lincoln City's had drops on the lens for about an hour now. It's 56 degrees. Here's Timberline. You can just see the Palmer snowfield right there. With cloudiness kind of covering up the summit. It's 44 degrees. A reminder, if you're going up to the high country, it's at least possible that Friday overnight and Saturday morning we have sticking snow at 6,000 feet up at Timberline Lodge, so don't forget about that. All right, downtown Portland, you can see the clouds. We have had some passing rain showers this morning. Not much, traceable amounts. 61, 56 Salem. It's all clear. Central and eastern areas. Bend, a beautiful sunny 61-degree morning. And here is the 7-day forecast for the Rose City. Partial to gradual clearing later today would get us up to about 71. All dry for tomorrow, which of course is Juneteenth or Thursday. 73, generally partly cloudy. And then the rainy weather Friday, Saturday, 64 or cooler. You may struggle to hit 60 or 61 on Saturday. And then a lingering shower threat on Sunday that may or may not develop. And then we've got all dry, sunny weather returning to start next week. And that is your forecast.
Thank you, Rod. All right, we have a traffic alert to talk about right now. Here's a map of the slowdown we're seeing at I-205 south near Gladstone. We still don't know what's causing it, but here are 2 live pictures of the slowdown happening right now. Again, this is 7:52 on your Wednesday, taking a live look at the slowdown. We will let you know if anything else pops up here. We'll be right back.
KGW's Evening News. Important stories to help you stay informed and keep your family safe.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Christine Pitawanich.
And I'm David Molko.
Weather impact alerts to help you plan your week.
We need to be extra careful with anything that can throw a spark.
And a team of local journalists connected to our community. David Molko, Christine Pitawanich, and Matt Zaffino. Your Evening News team, tonight on KGW.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
A new online tool could be the key to reuniting missing pets with their owners.
Eric Wilkinson with our sister station in Seattle walks us through how facial recognition technology is making those reconnections possible.
She just doesn't understand what's going on here.
This stray cat won't leave the back of her kennel. Stranded at the Skagit Valley Humane Society for 4 days, she's homesick.
It's so heartbreaking, it really is.
Nearly half of the 210 animals here are strays. Workers take in several more every week.
They find a hole or jump the fence.
These pets are a tiny fraction of the 6.3 million strays across the country. They take up precious space that could be used by animals that are either injured or abused. Each of them must be fed, cared for, given medical attention, shots, and be spayed or neutered. At this one shelter alone, that adds up to nearly $600,000 per year.
Well, it does go ahead and lean a bit of a burden.
Here at Skagit Humane, less than 30% of the dogs and barely 5% of the cats ever get reunited with their families. But now there is a new tool at your disposal to help these guys make their way home.
Someone's beloved pet got away from them. Now they're trying to go ahead and find the owner. How is that going to happen? How's that going to look?
It's going to look like this. People can upload their pet's picture to a database at petcolove.org. If that animal goes missing and is turned in, folks at shelters take their own picture and upload it. The app uses facial recognition technology to search hundreds of thousands of lost and found pets for a match.
Hopefully being reunited back to its owner.
The project is just getting started in Skagit. Yard signs like this one are being distributed throughout the county with that QR code, encouraging people to sign up. The hope is the technology will augment microchipping and get cats like this one out of their lonely kennels.
You want to go home?
And back into their loved ones' arms.
You know, they need our help.